Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melanie, and as well as weekly vlogs and business stuff, I am also a massive bookworm. I'm actually a bit nervous about filming this. I don't think I've done a sit down video this year. Well, obviously I haven't done it this year because it's literally the 1st of January 2026. What I mean is, the last 12 months I have not done a sit down video, and I feel very much out of practice. But let's just go. So let's go. The first book I have pulled out is the third one in the To the Villain series. So the first one was Assistant to the Villain. And if you have not read these books, you really need to. They are so, it's like a fantasy, but it's so funny, so light-hearted. So we've got the villain, Tristan, who's the male main character, and then we've got Evie Sage. So she is always whether it's the assistant, and the third one it's the accomplice. What was the... Oh, the second one, I think the second one was apprentice to the villain, but this is accomplice. And then I am eagerly waiting the fourth one, which I think is the adversary to the villain. But they're just, anytime I need a kind of light-hearted read or something that literally makes me laugh out loud, it is these. Next one is one that I had been meaning to get, and I think I got it, yes, I got it in TK Maxx, and it is Dawn of Onyx. Again, these are mainly all fantasy / romantasy. I have discovered that that's my genre, and there is not enough time in life for me to read books that I'm not interested in. So this is the first one in the Sacred Stones saga. If I'm honest, I can't really remember what it's about, other than I remember everyone on like Bookstagram and Book Talk talking about it. In the back it says, captured by the King of Darkness, forced to find the light within. To make it out of enemy territories, you'll have to navigate backstabbing royals, dark magic and deadly beasts. Sign me up. So that is Dawn of Onyx. Again, one that I have, number one, know nothing about, and number two, can't remember how I remembered thinking about picking this up. So this is An Accident of Stars, which is book one of the Manifold Worlds by Foz Meadows, and I can only presume that I have seen this like recommended in a podcast or by someone. It says, a compelling blend of intimacy, danger, twisty politics, believably imperfect characters and a fascinatingly complex universe. And there's one thing that I like, as well as romantasy and spice and fantasy, as an imperfect character, because it's very relatable. Again, another one that has been all over Bookstagram is An Ember in the Ashes. This one says at the top, Game of Thrones fans will relish Tahir's debut. Debut. I have a feeling this is maybe... Now, one of the most controversial things I have ever said, well, I'm just saying it's controversial, is the fact that I am not very into the Throne of Glass series. But there's a lot of people who, you know, they like the whole Assassin's vibe and stuff, as with Throne of Glass. And I don't know if this is going to be one of these. Another TK Maxx find, this is Neon Gods. And I think this is a Hades and Persephone retelling, or reimagining. Yes, a scorchingly hot modern retelling of Hades and Persephone. I love a retelling. Throne of the Fallen, again TK Maxx. TK Maxx has been coming through. Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Manisalco. She didn't want the prince, she wanted the demon. Secret spice in a story I could not put down. I say I like romantasy, and I like to stick to that, but I do like to dip my toe into sci-fi sometimes, and I feel like this one will scratch that itch. So this is The Ministry of Time. So, a civil servant is offered a lucrative job in a mysterious new government ministry gathering expats from across history to test whether time travel is feasible. I just thought it was like a really interesting idea. Her role is to work as a bridge, living with, supporting and monitoring expat 1847 Commander Graham Gore, a former Victorian polar explorer. Yet another book talk, Bookstagram one that I am about 3 years late to jumping on the bandwagon. Heavenly Bodies. Again, I'm not really sure what it's about. In a world ruled by stars, cruel and merciless gods, Elara has been cursed by fate. A prophecy promises she will fall for a star, but it'll kill them both. It's turning into the Leaning Tower of Pisa on here. The Rose Bargain, I bought, if you couldn't tell by the stickers, I bought these at the same time, relatively recently. My dad and I went to Waterstones and it was the cutest day out ever. That says The Rose Bargain. It was kind of given like Bridgerton crossed with a bit of fantasy. The season is officially open. High society girls line up to exchange magical bargains with their mortal queen, Downton Abbey, which I have just started watching. I'm on episode 5 of season 1. Again, about 3 years behind everyone else. A resistance of witches. So it says, Prime Minister Churchill, the witches of Britain are at your service. So it says, historical fantasy debuts, World War II meets a discovery of witches, a race through this one, a witchy wartime delight. I was immediately drawn to because one of my favourite films of all time is Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and obviously it's set in wartime, and it's about a witch who is trying to learn magic to help the resistance. So I just thought this looked kind of fun and cozy fantasy. Our Infinite Fates. So, fun fact, I read Silver Cloak by, again through NetGalley, by Laura Stephen, and also loved it to absolute pieces. So I didn't actually realise she also wrote this, which I had bought quite a wee while ago. And it says, the ribbon binding their wrists together was as red as a wound. Evelyn has lived countless lives, and in every single one she's been killed before her 18th birthday. But in her present life, her little sister needs her in order to stay alive. To save her sister and make it past her 18th birthday, she'll have to, number 1, find the centuries-old enemy who hunts her through each life. Number 2, figure out why she's been hunted so that she can break the curse once and for all. Then we have a book for which the pronunciation of which... Then we have a book of which the pronunciation of its name is hotly debated. I would call this Catabasis, but apparently, according to some people online, it's Catabasis. She basically goes to hell. So it says, grad student Alice Law has only ever had one goal: to become the brightest mind in the field of analytic magic. But the only person who can make her dream come true is dead and inconveniently in hell. And Alice, along with her biggest rival Peter Murdoch, is going after him. But hell is not as the philosophers claim. Its rules are upside down, and if she's going to get out there alive, she and Peter will have to work together. That's if they can agree on anything. Or will they triumph or kill each other trying? I meant to say at the beginning, get yourself a cup of tea because we could be here for a while. The Tudor Queens, if you've never seen them before. 6 Wild Crowns. So again, I think this is like a fantasy take on historical events. So fun fact, my university degree is actually in history. Yes, it is. It's like to do with like King Henry VIII. I thought I was imagining that. No. So, the king has been appointed by God to marry 6 queens. Those 6 queens are all that stand between the kingdom of Elban and ruin, or so we have been told. Each queen vies for attention. Clever, ambitious Boleyn, Anne Boleyn, is determined to be Henry's favourite, and if she must incite a war to win Henry over, so be it. Seymour, I'm presuming as in Jane Seymour, acts as spy and assassin in a court teeming with dragons, backstabbing courtiers and strange magic. Oh, a book which I will not be adding to my TBR, only because number 1, it's huge, number 2, it's hugely emotionally impactful. Number 3, I know the premise of it, because, long story short, I'll just show you. So this is Alchemised, and basically this is the traditionally published version of Manacled by the same author, which is a Harry Potter fanfic, or more specifically Hermione and Draco Malfoy, which you used, I don't know if you can still get it, but you used to be able to download as a PDF, and I read it on my Kindle, and it was incredible, but it is very emotionally damaging. So of course this, here it is here, was traditionally published, but of course because it was about Harry Potter, I didn't publish it without getting all sorts of, like, because of all the rights surrounding J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter. The names, from what I've heard, obviously the names and everything have been changed, but it's basically the same story. So I know what happens. And I do want to read it because I want to see just how similar it is to Manacled. But as I say, I need to be in the right headspace for it. And it's a beast. I think it's nearly 1,000 pages. Yeah, it is. Oh, they've even got the little photo at the end. Oh, and they've got the same last line. Yeah, I'm not going to read that. Yes, so it is 1,024 pages. This one, I'm thinking I might actually unhaul before I've even read it, because I'm like, realistically, am I going to get round to reading it? But I found this in a charity shop and I wanted to get it because I used to be obsessed with Britney Spears when I was younger. But the way she is now, I find it really, that I don't follow her on any socials or anything because I find it really difficult. I just don't know if I'm ever going to get round to reading this. I mean, even that picture makes me really sad. A book I got in when I used to be subscribed to the various book subscription boxes. I got this and I was really pleased to get it because I had been thinking about buying it. And it is Blood of Hercules. Step into the Colosseum at Spartan War Academy where monsters are made, immortality is won, and even a god can die. And this is the first one in the Villains of Lore series. I think it's meant to be quite a spicy one. Suits me fine. Now, where did I find this? I bought this very, very recently. Oh, Waterstones, because I was very kindly gifted a Waterstones voucher by one of my subscribers, and I just happened to come across this. And this is Anathema by Kerry Lake. So it says, you see the dead girl, but have you ever staked death in the face yourself? There are whispers of what lurks on Witch Nail, the forest where sinners perish. The villagers call it the Eaten Woods, because what's taken is never returned. Only those who've lost their senses would dare go near it, or the banished. This has obviously been a works one from quite a while ago. Their bond will save the world or shatter it. Long ago, humans betrayed dragons, stealing their magic and banishing them to a dying world. Now their descendants worship dragons as gods, but the gods remember and they do not forgive. So when thief Arkady casts a spell to steal a powerful artifact and accidentally traps Everin, the last male dragon, in the human world, consequences are deadly. So this is Filthy Rich Fee. Again, it's quite pretty. It was a works purchase, but by Geneva Lee, and I wanted to get this because I'm looking over here. I had bought and read the Filthy Rich Vampires series. I think there's 4, yeah, and loved it. So when she came out with a Fae version, I wanted to give it a go. Again, another one that I'm like, I think this is out with my usual genre, but this is My Dark Desire. The task was simple: sneak into Zachary's son's closely guarded manor, retrieve my pendant, slip out. Problem number 1, America's most unattainable bachelor caught me. Problem number 2, he's decided to keep me as the help. Another one that I have no idea where I got. Oh, I've obviously got it in the charity shop from this little sticker. But this is Call of the Dragon. If you didn't know, I am obsessed with dragons. Preferably if they can talk. And this is the first one in the Dragon Riders of Elantia. So this says, kick butt heroines, fire-breathing dragons, epic adventures. Your thriller ride waits in this brand new fantasy series, perfect for Dragon Rider fans. I just thought it sounded fun. Then we have Dune, Messiah. So this is the second one. I also got that at charity shop because I still haven't read it, but I unexpectedly really loved the Dune movie. So I've got the first one, and then this is the second one. The Crimson Moth, yet another Bookstagram. So this is all about like a witch and a witch hunter. A hunted witch. The revolution reigns. The witches who once ruled are hidden, hunted. Rune is one of them. A socialite by day, she's the Crimson Moth by night. A vigilante bent on saving her own, her next rescue demands she court Gideon Sharp, a notorious witch hunter and unforgiving revolutionary. So I'm presuming this is like enemies to lovers. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gilly. Elspeth's spindle needs more than luck to stay in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped on her head. He protects her, he keeps her secrets, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. another one that I'm late to the party on is Phantasma. So this is, I think this is like Trials. It says in the front a dark fantasy romance, but I'm pretty sure this is classed under young adult because I don't think there's very much spiciness in it. Welcome to Phantasma. There are only 2 rules to the game: stay alive and don't fall in love. When Ophelia's sister disappears, there is only one way to save her. Ophelia must enter Phantasma, a deadly contest inside a haunted mansion, and claim its prize, a single wish. I want to show you these two. So, Quicksilver, again, one that I was incredibly late to the party with. I don't know why, because I think it was possibly my first Infinity Star read of 2025. It is incredible. If you have been thinking about reading this, do it. Do it now. Don't worry, I went out on Boxing Day and spent my vouchers on getting the follow-up, which is Brimstone, and then we need to wait until November of this year before the 3rd one's coming out. Kingfisher is my new book boyfriend, that's all I've got to say on that. No notes. Then we have another, which I didn't realise, but I must have realised because why else would I have bought this? It is Rose and Chains, and this is another like Harry Potter, Hermione, Draco Malfoy retelling. So I mean, even look, it looks like Draco Malfoy and Hermione. The war is over, the dark forces have won, and the hero who was supposed to save them is dead. Yes, very, very like Manacled. After watching her brother die and her kingdom fall, Princess Bryony Rosewood is captured by the enemy, stripped of her magic and auctioned off to the highest bidder. And it smells so good. Neverthorn, again I picked this up on Boxing Day, so this is definitely a dark academia because it's set in, I love things that are set in like schools and colleges and stuff. Welcome to Neverthorn Academy, where a bunch of magical school misfits are about to save the world, or more likely die trying. What do you know, another TK Maxx find. This is Fire in the Sky, and I was no doubt drawn to this because of the dragon aspect, but it says, dragon fire no longer blisters the skies over Terra, but inside the lavish palace, life is still perilous, especially for Tamsin. Raised in the glittering court alongside the princesses, it's her duty to be punished for their misdeeds. So this is What Monstrous God. A rich and romantic reimagining of Sleeping Beauty, perfect for fans of these violent delights and the Shadow Queen. Don't know what the Shadow Queen is. I've heard of these violent delights. This is one that I pre-ordered from the Book Nook in Sturton, and it is the Philip Pullman's, the 3rd one in the Book of Dust, Volume 3, The Rosefield. I will be very, very honest. I think I'm going to have to try and find a summary of the first 2 books because I can't really remember what happened. And weirdly, I don't know what I've done with the first book because I've only got the 2nd one over there. But they're quite hefty. And I don't think I'm dedicated enough to... I remember it's got Lyra in it. And our wee sidekick's called Pan. But I'm not dedicated enough to read, what, about 700 pages. Then, one that I will fully admit I have no idea what's about, but again, people have said it's like their favourite book of all time, 6-star read, whatever. It is Blood over Brighthaven. And I got this when I was in Waterstones with my dad. The first woman ever admitted to a prestigious order of Magies unravels a secret conspiracy that could change the practice of magic forever, and this standalone dark fantasy from the author of The Sword of Kaigan. And then this is the book of the moment, as Direbound by Sable Sorensen, and this is like Wolf Shifters. Only the worthy survive the bonding trials. She'll risk her life and her heart to be one of them. Next we have The Bond That Burns by Briar Boylan, and this is the 2nd book in the Bloodwing Academy. I was very fortunate to read the advanced reader copy of the first one, which is called On Wings of Blood. I do actually want to get it on, like, in hardback. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I haven't read this one yet, but basically it's got dragons, vampires, the whole Dark Academia thing, the school setting, dragon riders. It's a good time, it's a good time. Then we have a little book that was gifted to me by one of my BT clients, and it's called I Think We'll Prescribe You a Cat. Lynette Noni's Arcani. it's the Mediterranean Chronicles. And I've never heard anyone talking about this apart from there is, now I'm looking over here because I've got her book. Is it Mad Rafferty. So she goes on and on and on about this. Just one step, 16-year-old Alexandra Jennings' world changes literally. Dreading her first day at new school, Alex is stunned when she walks through a doorway and finds herself stranded in Medora, a fantasy world full of impossibilities. Desperate to return home, she learns that only one man can help her, but he's missing. While waiting for him to reappear, Alex attends Arcane Academy, Medora's boarding school for teenagers with extraordinary gifts. She soon starts to enjoy her bizarre new world and the friends who embrace her as one of their own, but strange things are happening at Arcane and Alex can't ignore her fear that something unexpected, something sinister is looming. Add that to the TBR. Now this is not fantasy. The first one in the cat and mouse duet, and it is Haunting Adeline. And I do appreciate the flippiness. I think this is like dark romance, I'm pretty sure. I'm definitely talking too much because the battery died and or the camera overheated. But we've only got about 10 more to go, so we're nearly there. Then we have got one of the Rivers of London books. So, oh, Amongst Our Weapons. I was going to say I can't see because the sticker by Ben Aranovich. And I feel like there's literally millions of books in the Rivers of London series, but I haven't read them for a while, but I really enjoyed them when I did. There's a world hidden underneath this great city. The London Silver Vaults boast more than locks than the Bank of England and more cameras than a celebrity punch-up. Not somewhere that you can murder someone and vanish without a trace, except that's what's happened. Oh, whoever put this into charity had obviously got it from the Book Nook. That's so funny. I'm not usually a Stephen King person, but I did read Under the Dome, and just when I saw this was called Fairy Tale, I thought, we'll give it a go. Legendary storyteller Stephen King goes into the deepest well of his imagination in a spellbinding novel about a 17-year-old boy who inherits the keys to a parallel world where good and evil are at war, and the stakes could not be higher for their world or ours. This is a magnificent and terrifying tale about another world other than ours, in which good is pitted against overwhelming evil, and a heroic boy and his dog must lead the battle. We have got the first one in the Zodiac Academy, called The Awakening, and I think there's about 12 books in the Zodiac Academy, and then there's also like offshoot series. And when I was talking about that girl reads, she has actually done like a suggested reading guide on like a bit like the Throne of Glass series. There's a certain way to read it, so you can either do it like chronologically or. But I need to decide when I want to start reading this, because I'm like, do I want to commit to a full series? This is, I think I got this one in Asda of all places. This is For Whom the Bell Tolls. And it says, they told her to go to hell. She went on her own terms. Lily isn't exactly thrilled with her arrival in the afterlife, but what awaits her there is more than fantastical than she could have imagined. Deities wait in line at the coffee shop. Fae flip between realms. Souls find ways to make death a beginning. Comes a hotter than hell romantasy where love ignites in the unlikeliest of places, magic defies the rules, and the afterlife proves more exhilarating than anyone could imagine. I want to read this one too. I got this from the Book Nook, and it is, I think it's like a Cleopatra retelling. I have this weird obsession with Cleopatra. I don't know if it was because someone told me that one of my past lives I lived in that kind of time. A powerful, unmissable new retelling. This is a captivating story of female power and vulnerability, of love and loss, fierce friendship and terrible betrayal. It's time to meet the real Cleopatra. Right, we're down to the last 4. We can do it. Now, this is so good. Very, very spicy. So the first one was called, I've taken a mind blank, Kiss of the Basilisk. And it was about a chicken farmer who basically, so all the girls go to learn how to seduce the prince in the hope of being chosen as the next like princess or queen. But they are taught by basilisks, who are basically these like shapeshifters. So they go from men, well, and women, into, they can change into big giant snakes basically. And the first one was quite a wild ride, but kind of surface level. This one I actually, again, very, very spicy, but also made me cry. And it was a bit of an awkward moment because I pre-ordered it at the Book Nook. And I went in and the guy was like, oh, Between Two Kings. And you could tell that he wanted me to talk about what the book was about, and I was just like, bye. Another one that was a book box. I don't know how I feel about this one. This is The Haunting of Moscow House. In this elegant gothic ghost story, two formerly aristocratic sisters race to uncover their family's long buried secrets in a house haunted by a past too deadly to remember. It's making me think of Rasputin and that family. Fear the Flames, which I wanted because of course it's about dragons, and it says vengeance is a promise signed by blood, but the princess believed the blood of the dragon flowed through her. The dragons were her kin, and there was not a line she wouldn't cross to liberate her family. Last but not least, we have the newest, or the latest one in the Eragon series by Christopher Paolini, and it is Murta. And again, this was a charity shop find. If you are in Ayrshire, if you go to Troon, there is an Oxfam bookshop. I can't remember what the street's called, but they have some gems in there. And this is all to do with like dragon riders and... Oh, hello. Are you coming to say hello on the vlog? That's my cat. But that is us. We have got through this. What out of all my books do you think I should read next after When the Moon Hatched? Well, scrap that. After When the Moon Hatched, and also after when I read Brimstone, because that's going to be next on the agenda. So after those two, what should I read third? Let me know. And let me also know if there's any books that you think I should read, i.e. should buy. But thank you so much for watching. Please like. If you are not subscribed, then please subscribe. As I say, I'm all about the books, but I'm all about the business and the weekly vlogs, and I would love to have you here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!